How's it going, YouTube? It's your boy Felipe, and just wanted to take a quick minute out of my day to talk to you about just some things that have been on my mind. So, as I mentioned, or might have alluded to in my last video, my intro video, my foot is currently broken. So, just in that recovery phase, it's kind of annoying having to use crutches and just not be as mobile as I am usually. But it's given me a lot of time to think and reflect on just the direction of my life, I guess. Not to be overly dramatic, but I find that having all this extra time, having to slow down as well, it gave me some perspective that I might have not otherwise had. And I think one of the things that I've been realizing as of late is that there's just way too much information out there that's bombarding us on a daily basis. Now, it's not to say that, the internet, social media, things like YouTube are negative inherently, but I think it's very important that we start moderating our intake because if you think about it, it's like consuming any other substance. Um, I guess in the sense that it creates a neurochemical reaction within our bodies, our brains, our physiologies overall. And I think it's irresponsible to think that we can just consume in the same way that we would consume or abuse substances, alcohol, food. Um, it's irresponsible to think that things like social media, internet use are exempt from that rule of overconsumption, right? There's always that saying, right? That's very pertinent to a lot of aspects of one's life that, anything in excess is bad, right? I think there was actually, there's a couple quotes that relate to that. But point being is everyone knows that if you overindulge, if you consume in excess, whatever it may be, if you do anything in excess, really, it always trends toward detriment, right? It's always a negative outcome if you go to an extreme of anything. And I think at least me personally, I can't speak for everyone or anyone watching this video, but I personally feel that I've been just letting my free time, my thought processes be dictated by what I see, what I listen to, what I consume. And I think this relates to another point that I wanted to touch on. I think it's important to recognize one's locus of control and, to the extent possible, take actions towards take actions within one's locus of control that positively benefit oneself and others around them. I feel that I waste a lot of time just scrolling YouTube, just watching whatever, and I think it's very easy to fall into a trap of justification and saying that, oh, well, I've always done this. This is my comfort zone, right? This is my, um, I guess, coping mechanism, if you will. Um, of course, I never justify it as a coping mechanism. I always think of, oh, it's harmless. It's just, watching some YouTube, some funny videos, some interesting news articles, whatever it may be. And most of the time, it is harmless. Most of the time, it is just, you know, content that I would otherwise go out of my way to watch, right? The problem is just there's no guardrails, there's no breaks. You literally could spend an hour on YouTube Shorts and not know any better, like the time that's passing outside. Same goes for TikTok. I don't go on TikTok because I'm a normie, I guess. But um, yeah, it's pretty scary. Just the amount of time and the amount of emotional energy that one can invest or kind of offload. I wouldn't say offload. It's more you give to the algorithm, you give to the video in the sense of time and attention. Maybe not so much attention. That's even worse dynamic, right? Because you're just passively consuming. So I've lately taken a stance that I'm going to be much more active, much more proactive, and much more intentional in my content consumption, specifically related to YouTube. But this goes for anything else on the internet. And I think it'll be difficult to kind of shift my perspective. But what I've come to realize as of late with other aspects of my life is that if there is a drive, if there's a need for something to change, you will inevitably find a way, if you have the will and if you have the determination to make it happen, you'll find a way to establish systems or create some sense of internal discipline to achieve your goals. But these goals need to be concrete. You need to have a clearly delineated roadmap, and you have to understand how to get back on the horse when you inevitably slip up, inevitably backpedal, whatever. It's not the end of the world, but it's important if there's a goal that's very important to oneself that one have a system or at least a strategy to how to pivot, think about how to adapt. Anyway, rambling a little bit, but point being is the way I'm going to go about it is I'm going to be very deliberate and basically set aside on each day what videos that are in my watch list that I'd like to watch, right? And I feel like I've done a pretty good job curating my watch list in the sense that I focus more on videos that have some sort of educational value or provide some sort of spiritual enrichment, advice, life, whatever. And I think unlike the way that I've approached it in the past, the way that I'm going to approach it going forward is slow and deliberate. And I think the virtue of patience is one that we as a society have kind of forgotten, or at least relegated to a less important position in terms of our values, right? And I'm not going to say that I don't have tendencies of being impatient, of being antsy, but I think it starts with small actions, small decisions, and with that, you can work your way up to a more grounded, more structured, and resilient life, right? Because I don't think anyone wants to be beholden to their phone or the internet or whatever vices they may have. But I think without having the tools, um, to, at the very least, understand what the issue is, then I think there's not a whole lot of progress to be made, at least in the long term. So that's kind of my MO that I'm trending towards. Obviously, this might change, and I don't know. I felt like I just wanted to chat. No one's probably going to see this video anyway, but I haven't been going to Toastmasters because of my broken leg or broken foot. So I felt like it would be important to kind of articulate, work on my speaking, not public speaking, but just getting my thoughts in order and articulating them. I think that's if nothing else, it's a really effective exercise at organizing my thoughts. And good thing is there's no timer, so I can talk as long as I want. Yeah, that's pretty much all I had. Next video, I don't know what I'm going to talk about, but I was at one point going to talk about the significance but behind the new channel name. So disorder in progress. That's next video. Little breakdown of etymology. Hopefully keep it within 5 to 7 minute range, you know, as per Toastmasters career. Toastmasters, man, I'm blinking. As per Toastmasters criteria for most of our speeches. Man, I was really hoping to nail that one. Just come with a real big word at the end, but can't have everything, right? Anyway, that's it for today, and I hope you have a wonderful evening, day, night, morning, whatever. And that's it for today. Peace.